When it comes to Patron Silver, the way it goes for me when I taste it, it's usually I will have first the aroma of the cooked agave, which for every one of you that has been to a tequila distillery is very unique in terms of aromas, but it's just so fragrant. And then I will usually get, when I taste it, I will taste the Tahona tequila in the front of the tongue, if that makes sense. Like I will have that sweetness in the front of the tongue, and then I will have more of the agave herbaceous notes on the back of the palate.
On the finish?
Right.
Gotcha.
And like that mintiness at the end as well, and that long-lasting finish. And for me, the long-lasting finish is always something that I'm looking for in tequila, right? Like you don't want
Absolutely.
something that falls too short. You don't want to forget if you just had tequila. Yeah. Otherwise, maybe it's time to go home. But when it comes to it, that's how silver is done, right? And if you take silver to get reposado, well, we just age it, right? For reposado, we age it around 4 to 5 months. We have a strong emphasis on use bourbon barrels, but we technically use 5 different types of barrels at Patron. We use used American, we use 2 types of French, we use Hungarian, and a hybrid barrel as well. And so here you will still have that herbaceous aspect of the agave, that freshness of the agave, if that makes sense.
Yep.
With just like a slightly softer and maybe just like starting having a hint of like the barrel, a hint of the vanilla, right?
So those 5 barrels are now being used and then they're blended, right? So the master distiller will now take those 5 barrels, he's going to blend it to give you that same flavor profile across the board, right?
That's right.
So where maybe other brands may have to bring something else into the mix, using the barrels to get that same flavor profile, that same coloring, that's where that's coming from.
100%.
Right? So we want to make sure that we understand
and that's very important. I mean, you mentioned it. We just launched a very big campaign on additive free. We've been additive free since we started making tequila because we like the way our tequila tastes. And so for that reason, we don't feel like there is a need to add anything to it, right? It's just the sugar from the agave, the water, and the yeast, and that does the magic, right? And so that's why also when it comes to it, I mean, for a reposado, it's a fairly light reposado. It's also on the lower end of what you can age your reposado for, but it's really just to keep the flavor of the agave intact, right? We don't want to cover the agave too much.
And they're all 40 ABV?
They're all, right? So here in the US, yes.
Everything's 40 ABV.
In the US, yes. A few years ago, so the laws are slightly different in Mexico, and so you can have lower proof tequila. It starts at 70 and it can go up. So before in Mexico, they were all at 80 as well. Now they're all at slightly different proof, slightly lower proof, and it will also open a different flavor profile.
All right.
And so when it comes to añejo, our añejo, same 5 barrel, same processes, still no additive whatsoever.
Longer period of time.
Longer period of time. So here, but also on the shorter end of what an añejo can be.
All right, so you're at 36 months on the añejo?
On the añejo? No, on the añejo, we're like, we're closer to 14 months.
14 months.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, like we're
you're right. Okay.
But we're really on the lower end of it. The color you can see already, it's on the lighter end of what an añejo can be as well. And like it's really again for we want to have maybe a bit more of the flavor of the barrel coming through, but at the same time we still want to be
the agave
to be the star of the show. And like a good friend of mine told me like when he tastes Patron añejo and I kept that with me, it tastes to him like grilled pineapple. And I love that because, you know, when you grill pineapple, if you put it on a grill for a barbecue, like you will have that char caramelized on the outside, but then inside you still have the acidity, right? And I get exactly that. I have that sweetness of the aging, and then I still have the agave coming through. And so for that, it works perfectly. Right. And then we just launched Cristalino last year, actually. And like, I love it because you said it before as well, it's Cristalino, it's, I would say, polarizing as a category for the agave aficionado. And so one thing for me is when we're talking about tequila, they're not all equal. You can have some that are made the old-fashioned way, preserving some of the authentic processes. You can have some that are made with or without additives, right? Well, it's a bit the same with the Cristalino category. And so for Patron Cristalino, first and foremost, it's an añejo Cristalino. So you will have the same 14 months in the same 5 barrel. And then we filter it down. And it's kind of a way to have the best of both worlds for a lot of people. Like you will still have, for lack of a better word, your clear spirit, but with some of the hint of the aging. And one thing that's important to me also when we're talking about Cristalino and I guess the filtration process, right, is it's when you filter something, you can see it as stripping flavors, which I think that's why some people that might be not enjoying Cristalino as much might be thinking of, or you can think it as tailoring a bit the flavors the way you want.
Yeah. And so we may have a chance to taste that now and get into it, but I appreciate you coming by, sharing the core line with us.
Of course.
This was outstanding. I hope that everybody at home got the barrel notes and you're understanding the French, the Hungarian, the American oak that's being used for this, right? The Hungarian, I have great stories about Hungary, but it's really important to understand where everything is starting and where we're ending up with. So cheers, everyone, and stand by. We're going to get into this Cristalino.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam.